Live from Austin, Texas, broadcasting worldwide, it's Alex Jones.
It is the first day of October on this Friday edition, 2010. Bob Chapman on the economy in the next hour, then the Health Ranger, all the way from war-torn, coup-torn, junta-torn Ecuador will be joining us in studio today. We'll probably go into overdrive into the fourth hour. Okay, here are the stacks of news. Millions of computers hit by virus across China. The computer worm attacking Iran's nuclear facilities includes biblical link to China, and it's the same one now hitting China. Again, millions of computers hit by virus across China. That is the headline out of the Jakarta Globe. Here's the Mail Online. Computer worm attacking Iran's nuclear facilities includes biblical link to Israel. I misspoke when I said China. It's now spread to China and is hitting China as well. And we played clips, of course, earlier this week where mainstream media, Bloomberg, AP, Reuters, they're all just admitting it. Okay, Israel designed this super worm to take down infrastructures, and it's super high-tech, and spies have got to go inside the facilities to load this on to the industrial computer systems. But as we predicted, it's now all over the mainstream media. We're going to go over some of that, where they're saying, see, we've got to pass cybersecurity right now, or we could be hit by something like the Stuxnet computer worm. You got to love it. A Western government clearly designs and launches this. It's attacking the globalist enemies, at least at one level, the Iranians, the Chinese, the Indonesians, clearly loaded onto their systems by spies that went in at the 0 point of origin and did all of this. And then there's no common sense. There's no 2 + 2 = 4 by the general public, or at least the government thinks that. They come out in the media and say, see, we need to surveil the internet and control the internet and have more choke points put into the internet to be able to shut off the internet. That's their quote. Obama and Hayden and all of them are all over the news. LA Times this week, we need the power to shut the web off to protect it, when they are the ones that will attack the internet. In fact, that was a Pentagon press release 3 days ago, that they're running a giant drill right now of, quote, attacking their own system so they can prevent and understand attacks in the future. No, they're practicing killing parts of the internet and shutting off industrial systems when they want to, and then blaming it on shadowy men in caves. I mean, it's always the globalist in every case that are launching these sophisticated physical terror attacks, cyber terror attacks, you name it. So that's all in plain view. We're going to be going more over that today. In the economic stack, global employment crisis will stir social unrest, warns UN agency. And, of course, we had the Pentagon come out 2 weeks ago and say that they're worried about a total collapse and society degenerating, but they've got a solution. Martial law, that will save you from the financial crisis that the banksters have engineered. Just like this year, the Federal Reserve got more power over the markets and private companies and the ability to track all your purchases to fix the problem they admittedly engineered to enrich themselves. You've just got to love it. So unemployment exploding worldwide, and riots all over Europe as people are having their taxes raised and part of their pension funds stolen. But this is part of the IMF World Bank plan that got leaked in 2002. They talked about, well, we've robbed the third world, the developing world. Now we're going to rob Europe, the United States, Australia, and all of the supposed wealthy nations and steal their wealth. And the great part is, they call it the IMF riot. When the people then riot, that will drive down confidence even more, and it's an even bigger fire sale for the banks flush with cash from bailouts. They can now move in and buy everything up. So it's working like a charm, of course, and general public still more concerned about Survivor and, you know, did Jimmy Johnson get kicked off the show, or does Howard Stern have bed bugs at his office? Yes, that's what's important, and so we're going to be enslaved. But again, some people are waking up, but the problem is the neocons are now posing as patriots to be Pied Pipers to lead that movement down a rat hole. But people are getting more and more wise to these scams. Flames of anger strikes fury over spending cuts sweeps Europe. So flames of anger strike fury over spending cuts as it sweeps Europe. And Bob Chapman's got a detailed report up at Infowars.com today. The risk of currency devaluation. Currency devaluation. That's already begun. It's been going on for a while. But the dollar's lost 99% of its purchasing value since 1913 when the Federal Reserve took over. And they inflate the currency for themselves at the top of the pyramid and buy things with it, and then pass on the devaluation to you and make you pay it back also in taxes. So we'll be talking to Bob Chapman about that. 2 years and billions later, bank bailout program finally ends. That's the AP headline. And Geithner says economy still needs reinforcement. That means more money to the banksters that they then don't pass on in loans to the public and industry that aren't part of the insider club. But Geithner, 2 weeks ago, your office told us that the recession ended 15 months ago in June of 2009. So it ended 15 months ago, but you need more money. Also, this has to be a joke. SEC is about to blame entire flash crash on Waddell and Reed's E-mini trades, which is a very small outfit overall in the aggregate. Zero Hedge, Tyler Durgan reports. And sure enough, I have the Bloomberg article they're talking about. Report to say Waddell stoked flash crash. That 1,000-point drop in 15 minutes that happened a few months ago. The SEC that covered up for Bernie Madoff and others, and of course Kinley as long as they could, all those insider groups, they are telling you that some little tiny group did it. Isn't that just special? So they want to restrict smaller firms from running their own computer programs, so only the big boys like Goldman Sachs can siphon off the money. Also, will the dollar rebound before dissolving into global currency? Excellent report from activist post Eric Blair up at Infowars.com. And here's another one. Gold at record for 6-day, U.S. policy in focus. It hit $1,317 last time I checked, $17.10, I should add. So that's just some of the news on that front. I want to get into this coming up at the bottom of the hour after I cover some other important news. And that is Fox News boss calls for legalizing 40 million illegals. And, of course, he also ordered all of his TV divisions to promote that man-made global warming is real. And we've shown you Fox TV promos promoting that global warming is real and carbon taxes are good. And if you criticize Rupert Murdoch, so-called conservatives send you hate-filled emails saying you're a liar. Okay, well, he's on TV promoting the legalization of 40 million illegal aliens. And you've got to love this doublespeak. Here's CNS News reporting on it. Rupert Murdoch calls for amnesty for law-abiding illegal immigrants. That's like Rupert Murdoch calls for law-abiding child molesters to be released from prison. I mean, what does that mean? Rupert Murdoch calls for amnesty for law-abiding illegal immigrants. So a full court press by the neocons on that front. Also, Texas sheriff, Mexican bandits entered U.S. waters. Just the latest report of piracy on lakes in Texas. And it's also going on in the Gulf of Mexico. There's just a massive increase. It's more than doubled. We've had captains on to report on this. And major international organizations like Interpol admit there's been more than a doubling exponentially in the last 3 years. Every year it's been exponentially doubling each year. In the Gulf of Mexico, piracy. But local media doesn't tell you, hey, don't take your sailboat down into Mexican waters. You're going to get robbed by federales, and they're going to kill you and your wife and kids and throw you overboard and then go sell your boat, because that's who the pirates are in most cases. No. They're just going to send you right on down there to get killed. And then it's just, where'd the Browns go? Or where'd the Changs go? Or where'd the Swartzes go? Oh, we don't know. Their sailboat showed up 6 months later, repainted with new serial numbers, but, it got sold at an auction in Miami. But whoop-de-doo, they're dead, See, the globalists ignore all the real carnage that's going on, and then they hype up imaginary stuff like, one guy shot himself at UT on Monday. Well, the Texas legislature better not legalize concealed carry on Texas campuses, which statistically, all the evidence has shown, over 20% reductions in crime on average. So what? So what if it actually makes us safer? We better cancel the speech by Professor John Lott at the UT Law School that night, conveniently, on the 28th, because after all, talking about guns could cause violence. Don't even talk about guns in America. So that's coming up. Now, if you think that's insane, tyranny and treason, of course, he's not even an American, so what do you expect from old Rupert, the fake conservative Murdoch? Here's one. Feds use pre-crime to target disgruntled veterans. We told you about how they just admit, yeah, we're listening to all your phone calls, reading all your email, everything you do, and they're having law enforcement seminars all over the country, and the federal government just plunked $153 million down on this. I saw that in the news this morning. To run everything you do through a database and give the local police access to it. Bet they'll have fun with that, and if you criticize the government, well, you're in deep trouble.